All right, if everybody can stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming out. We are meeting for the recreational group. We have an agenda. I just wanted to go over it really quick, make sure that everybody was okay with the agenda. I did email it to everybody last night. Everybody okay with it? All right. So the first thing on the agenda we're going to talk about is our meeting time frame. We've had some meetings that are relatively nice at about an hour, hour and a half max, and we've had other ones that go about 3 hours. So we would like to set a cap on how long our meetings go for. Basically what that means is, say we decide on an hour and a half. Once we hit that hour and a half, if we have more that needs to be discussed, we will push that until the next meeting. So what is everybody's thoughts on a time frame?
I love an hour.
Hour?
Hour to hour and a half max.
I would say an hour and a half max, unless it's something that is pressing, like, say you had to meet again for the agenda or something like that, you know, if everyone was told ahead of time.
Okay, I second John's hour.
Yeah, this agenda is so much smaller than what we've been dealing with the last couple of months, that if we go over an hour on this,
Well, the last meeting we had only had 3 things on it, and we went 3 hours.
But there was a lot to go
I wasn't
over.
feeling good that day, I couldn't make it.
I think that's a nice idea, but I also think you need like an old business portion so that things aren't
Yep.
falling by the wayside.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what,
So
one thing
they're
I
on the back burner as opposed to off the slate.
that was something I did forget to put on here. Thank you. Okay. All right.
All right, so we had a motion and there was a second, so you're having discussion.
Yep.
Is there any other discussion?
Any other discussion on time?
No.
All right, so all in favor of an hour-long meeting?
And then all opposed?
All opposed?
Hope, why aren't you voting?
I'm not gonna be here next year, so it's really what these guys want.
So as long as you're an active member and you're
Oh,
staying
then
on
I'm
the board.
absolutely for it.
Okay, you gotta vote, there's only
I don't
certain
know
reasons. And we're not gonna try to jump all over Sam's meeting, but we're here to help her and help guide her. But unless you have a specific reason to abstain, you have to vote, so.
Okay.
It's my brother.
All right, so it was 4-1?
Yeah, because I don't count, right?
You count, but yeah. All right, and before you go over that meeting, just to kind of reiterate on what Lori was saying, she had a great point. If you have something that's pressing, if she we're gonna adjust her agenda some, and if she has approval of the agenda and Lori sees something at the bottom, ask to move it up if you think it's pressing, so you make sure and handle it that night. So it's a
good idea.
point. The other thing, you were gonna talk about the days of the week, or did you cover that at the last meeting?
We haven't done that yet.
Okay.
We briefly went over it, but we haven't.
So that would fall under the meeting times?
Okay. So the other thing we're going to do is, I know we had mentioned it at the last meeting briefly, but we are going to also be looking at doing our meetings during the weekdays, not during the weekends.
Or at least not on Sundays. The board doesn't care if you have them on
Okay.
Saturdays if you so choose, but Sunday is the day of rest, including for our cable department and many others, so the board is asking that you not meet on Sundays.
That's fine.
And, you know, we definitely would like it during the week, if possible. I understand sometimes you can't, you know, so at least the majority of the time we'd like it during the week. I mean, if you gotta do a Saturday, you have to, but, you know, just,
Yeah, try to find a,
You know-
a day of the week, the second Monday of the month, or the third Thursday of the month, that kind of works, and you can, as you go on time, you'll start learning to keep that
Yep.
day open for your committee. But something you can think about and bring up on the next meeting, but just as long as you know
I think
there's
that's good.
no more Sundays.
I'll clear my agenda.
I know that there's one member that has a hard time doing Mondays and Fridays, so if we can try not to do Mondays and Fridays, we'll definitely look into that.
Is there any place else that we could meet? I know that the town hall is filling up. I think that was some of the problem with some of the meeting times, is that correct, for during the week?
Yeah. Right now, there's not. I mean, if we, the Board of Selectmen meets on Wednesdays, the Planning Board meets every other Thursday. If it gets to a point, that, we have to adjust with our homeschoolers and Girl Scouters, we will, because the municipal meetings come first. But right now, this is the only room. Downstairs used to be a meeting room, but, once they changed it to full office space, it's no longer equipped for the public. There's a lot of things down there that can't be accessed, you know. It's alarmed for a reason now.
What about our office space, if need be? No.
I mean, it would have to be, it would have to be an emergency meeting.
Okay, that's
I
what I
mean,
was wondering. I know it's a small area.
Right, and if it's outside of hours, then you've gotta make you've gotta give
Right.
somebody access to that, and there's just too many records and, so. We're not to a point where we're turning people away yet.
Okay, perfect. So we will look weekdays.
We're looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, from the sounds of it.
Not Wednesday.
What
Oh, I thought you said Monday and Friday.
time does the selectmen meet now, 6?
Meetings on-
Yeah.
6.
If we were doing it at an hour, could we do it Wednesday at 5? That was a
That might
possibility.
be,
Yeah, as long as you're done by 5, yeah.
No,
That would-
at
that-
5 till 6.
5 to 6, yeah, we could do that. We don't start early.
Nope.
And it would force us to be
we
done by
could end up
6.
with a,
Okay, we'll put that.
Hysterical.
Put that as old business under your next meeting, and everybody
Yep.
come with their ideas, there'll be a vote.
All right. Perfect. All right, next thing we want to talk about is the parking lot. So we have gotten the permit back for the parking lot at this point. We need to have that go to the selectmen on Wednesday.
So it's on our agenda for Wednesday night, and we will reach out to you, by the end of the week and tell you what the next step is.
Perfect, because that was going to be my next. I won't be able, I was planning on going to that meeting. I will not be able to attend. It's not going to work.
And I'm not sure that any, you know, they're gonna give their input on the next step. We may have to look into it and talk to codes, talk to the roads, figure out what the next step is. So I'm not sure they're gonna have a definite answer, but we will put it back on the agenda Wednesday and
Perfect.
keep it on there until it's resolved.
Perfect. Okay. The Christmas tree lighting, that is coming up on Saturday. We've talked about, it's going to be 4 to 7, and we've talked about coming from 2 to 4 for setup. That still work for everybody?
We'll be here.
Perfect. Who is bringing what? I know you guys said you were bringing meatballs.
Meatballs.
Yeah.
I saw in the email Hope was bringing bread of some sort to soak up.
Flatbread, right?
Flatbread, yep, to go with your sauce.
Bring some Tums.
Bring some what, Tums?
Yep.
Did Jennifer Toussaint
She is
agree to
doing,
bring the chili?
yes,
Oh,
and she's
good,
going to
okay.
be doing her big crock pot.
okay, oh, the
So-
big one.
The big one.
Okay.
I did not get in touch with the person from the chowder. I did reach out, but I only had the option of Facebook to reach out to them.
Yeah, I forget who won the charter.
Nancy Deans, Stearns?
Yeah, Dean's. I think it was Dean's.
Okay. I don't know her. I just,
She may be unavailable this week. Let's leave it at that.
okay.
Are you bringing something? Do you know what you're bringing?
I was waiting till everybody decided. what they
I
were
was too. That's what I was asking. Is that all we have so far?
bringing. That's all we have so far.
You did a shout out on Facebook? No one
No.
responded? No.
I didn't do a
okay.
shout out on Facebook for that. I was given I was told by some others, that they've had a lot of people in the past agree to bring stuff, and then majority of them never brought anything, so then they had nothing there.
That's, I think what we have then is fine. If you'll bring something and if Lori brings something, there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple and getting people in and out.
They've ever done full dinners, Lori, in the past, really. Just finger food and snacks.
Yeah, I think, someone said that they did, the church did, a pasta at one point, but I wasn't here for it.
Maybe a separate entity, but light snacks are good.
And
Snacks, or are we doing? I can bring anything, so whatever else we need, I can bring. I just kind of wanted to know what other people were bringing, so I could, I mean, I can do a sausage kind of casserole, I could do American, something to spread out, so, you know, that would go far, so, I mean, I can do an American job, so I can do whatever anyone, like, feels that'll be, you know, another filler, so.
yeah, I think that sounds great. The church was gonna do little snack packs. At least that was my takeaway from the meeting we had on whatever day it was, Sunday, I guess. And the hot cocoa, and we'll have the Franny's donuts. I just lost my train of thought. The cookies that Crystal is spearheading for the decorating, are those to be eaten or are those to be like pierced and hung with ribbons? And-
No, they're regular cookies that you can eat after
Okay.
you decorate.
All right, so we have something sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, those will be,
Yep, good job.
Someone's doing candy canes.
yeah, we gotta get candy canes.
Okay,
Yep,
that's good.
we'll have that. We also had someone donate a bunch of these solar bobblehead type Christmas characters. I should have brought one to kind of show what I was talking about, at our craft fair this weekend. So I actually have them, I put them over in the old gym. That way we can have them out on the table to give out as well.
Okay.
For anybody that would like one.
Okay.
Like a little decoration?
They're like little decoration kid type things. I think they were originally from the dollar store.
I like 20 of them or 5 of them?
Probably like 30 to 40
Oh,
of them.
nice.
Oh, well.
That's really nice. That'd be fun for the kids.
We know that we need plates, cups, waters, bowls, utensils, and napkins. So I will be getting those this week. We have $75 worth of donations from a combination of Shaw's and Hannaford's, that hopefully we can get all that from.
And do they give you, like vouchers, because they don't give you money, they give you vouchers to go in and pick out? Or how does that work?
They actually give you a regular gift card.
Or they give you a gift card?
Shaw's, I believe, did the $50 and Hannaford did 25.
Perfect.
Was Crystal getting the icing with that?
We had 1 or 2 people, say that they would like to donate for icing, like the frostings and that. And then the rest we were gonna also have to get from there. We were just trying to figure out how much.
Just making sure we have enough in the pot to do that.
Yep. Yep. That was one thing I needed to add. Thank you. Anything else that seemed to miss putting on that list of things that we need?
We have,
All that
2
soda and
cases
water.
of mixed beverages, mostly from Mary Grant, so they left that here on Thursday for us to use this weekend, so.
Well,
And we had some leftover.
just for clarity, that was a donation from the Neighbors Helping Neighbors.
Oh.
Because remember, they paid for the Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
So,
All
not,
right,
you know,
so-
not to, just in
all
case
right,
ever
yeah,
comes
yeah,
back.
No,
when-
that's fine, that's
Yeah.
fine. I thought it was, that's,
Yeah.
Okay.
He brought it, so I understand the, you
okay.
know.
Some
So,
of it's from
but there's,
soccer or baseball.
yeah, just the stuff that I bought over the summer that clearly we're not drinking, so.
And I think we had waters, so there were little waters over there too. I think we left everything.
There's
We had like
a
3
couple of
gallons
half
of
gallons.
big waters.
There should be little ones, there should be a couple of cases, maybe in the fridge of your little waters as well, so. You're welcome to any of that.
What is the thoughts on taking the cans of soda and that, because I have to clean out the fridge over at the rec. That way I can unplug it. What is the thought on just bringing over all of the cans that we have over there and using it?
Throw them in a cooler.
Sure.
That way they
Just
get
bring
used.
over
Oh,
everything.
yeah, why not?
And what about hot cocoa? Did you say that that was gonna be a station somewhere?
Yes, so what we were looking at doing, I did hear back from Chief Ham, and we got permission to do the fire pit, because it's going to be on the church premises. They will have a safety person at the fire the entire time. So we were looking at, setting up the Lions Club next to the fire pit, because they're going to have the Franny's mini donuts. Also, we're going to do coffee and hot chocolate. Aroma Joe's has donated, we just have to decide which one we want, either a thing of hot chocolate or a thing of coffee. Just need to figure out which one we would like to get from them, and then we can have that out there as well. So there'll be a warm space outside. So between the
We
two
don't have to
buildings.
worry about any of that, right?
Nope.
No, they're doing that.
Yep, they're taking care of that,
Yay.
so they've stepped in. Anything else for the tree lighting?
Good job, sounds great. Good job, all of you. I might have an extra gift card or 2 in my office from Hannaford from last year, so I'll give them to you. And get your
Oh,
last
nice.
items.
Thank you. All right, so basketball and cheer start this week. We did hear back, I sent out all the emails yesterday. I'll try to go in order. The practices are as followed, so that everybody knows. Pre-K and kindergarten will be on Wednesdays from 6 to 7. First and second is Tuesdays, 6 to 7. Third, fourth is Thursdays, 6 to 7, and fifth and sixth is Thursdays, 7 to 8. With those times, if there is a game, a home game for the middle school teams, they might get pushed back about a half an hour, just as a heads up to everybody.
Do we know what?
Do we know what that schedule
days?
Yes, we do. We have it.
So
between me and TJ.
Yep, we have it. I could pull it up right now, but
I know in the past, they used to be like mainly on a Monday, so were
Mondays
there
and-
any days that are actually,
Is it Mondays and Wednesdays?
I didn't forward it to my webmail, so I don't have it.
I have it. I think it's Mondays and Wednesdays are the primary days.
not the Thursday where it's the 7 to 8
No.
on Thursday, good.
No, it's Mondays and Wednesdays. There's
We've actually
one,
heard, I'm sorry, Sam, we've heard a couple of things at the window about the 7 to 8 practice. So hopefully that's not one that gets pushed back any.
What's the?
Yeah,
How late
that's
it is.
late to begin with, yeah.
That's
I don't
always
think-
been an average 7 to 8 for 5th and 6th grade,
Well, no,
so
that's what I said, they're the oldest, they'll be all right.
unfortunately, we all have to pay our dues.
let me see.
It would just be helpful to know when those games are, so we
Yeah.
can just put that in our calendars.
And I can send that list to everybody that's here. That way you guys all have it as well.
And for the parents, I would think?
That one would be with the coaches, so that the coaches can let the parents know.
All right, so then a memo to the coaches, so they're
Tell me
aware.
what you want to do. I can let my parents know by tomorrow. I just have to go home and relook at the schedule.
There's an occasional Thursday, but the Thursday ones are, there's one Thursday that's at the school. Other one is away. Other than that, it's mainly Mondays and Wednesdays.
Are the are coaches notifying the people on, like in the past, we used to, I would give the binder to the coaches, they would notify people, or how are we doing that?
So you should have received an email as well yesterday. So I sent all the emails out last night, or yesterday afternoon. Basically, it included the coach, the assistant coach, and all of the kids for that team in that email. So basically, it was like what I did, our last board is, was handing over the reins to the coaches. These are all of your kids, these are all of the email addresses.
Do they have, paper copies of the registrations before they start practice?
They're going to have them, I have to come in tomorrow and make copies of all of them, because they were all coming in.
Yeah, and there's a couple in the box, but as her helper, TJ, you need to make sure that all the coaches have those front and back, because it's got your emergency stuff on there.
Sure.
Before they start.
So we're Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in there, so I guess tomorrow is when we're starting practices.
James is in there tomorrow.
I'll, hook up with him, and then Wednesday is the kindergartners. We can talk after.
Yeah,
but
So I
yeah,
guess
I'll-
that's my question, like I haven't been notified about practice times from anyone, so that's what I'm saying
It should
is,
be an email.
that was a group email to every person?
That was only for your age group.
Oh,
team.
Oh, okay.
So they were specified for each team, so I
So
sent out 4
you're sending an
emails.
email out to everyone, and then the coaches take over from there?
Yes.
Is that, okay.
Yeah, and that's how it happened.
We haven't
last
played
time.
any sports, because Katrina broke her arm, so I,
Yep, so I did that. The only ones that were all locked together, which I broke down by their names and that on it, was the cheerleading, because it's all the same coach.
So do you want to just give me the binders, and I'll show up tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday?
I don't have them on me right now.
Okay.
But I can give them to you tomorrow when you get to the school, if that works.
Wednesday, the middle school girls have their first game. It's an away game, so I won't be back to the school until 6:30. Is that when the first practice is? 6?
6.
Okay, so I'll be there in time to give them their binders. Okay.
Yep, and I'll be there with you. All right, so cheer is going to be on Tuesdays. We're doing cheer in the cafeteria. The cafeteria will be used on Tuesdays. It'll be 5 to 6 for pre-K through 2nd grade, 6 to 7 for 3rd and 4th, and 7 to 8 for 5th through 8th. As of right now, games are only going to be scheduled throughout the week. We're only looking at going between Wakefield, Shapley, and our own gym. So it's all very, very local, which is nice.
no line school?
Nope, no line. They said they don't have basketball.
Oh, wow.
So, and Alfred is only doing in-house this year. Nason got overwhelmed with how many they had, so we have no Nason Center this year. And I haven't heard back again from Milton, so I'm kind of up in the air on Milton as well.
Is Milton Jennifer Davies?
Nope, that was, Nason.
She just responded and said she was booked, so I guess no 5th and 6th grade for Nassau.
Yep.
So the games last year were always on Friday. Are we thinking the same or changed based on the away games?
It's going to be a combination. I think we have some on Friday, Monday, and I think I did 1 or 2 on Thursday. So it's kind of a scattered throughout the week. So there'll be no weekend games. The only exception to that is there's the possibility of doing something February 4th, which is a Saturday. Samantha Rodriguez, who is the Shapley coordinator, had actually wanted to try to do a tournament, kind of like what we did for soccer, but only do like a half-court tournament. So instead of doing like a big thing, it's just gonna be half-court, short game type deal.
The long ways? Is that what you're thinking? The long ways on half court, so there's two.
I'm not sure which way she was thinking, but she said that you only needed half-court.
If you're gonna do half court, you might as well use the 2 baskets that are,
On either
Opposite.
side?
you
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I think I know which way you're talking about, yeah. So, but she said that she was willing to kind of spearhead the whole thing,
For the smaller kids, that's definitely a good idea. 5th and 6th graders, it might be
a little bit of a
a
harder.
little bit of a tough sell, but
Yep,
Even if
whatever. It's gonna
I
be
would think
imperfect
that
because
they'd
we
be
have one
hurting each
too.
other playing half-court in 5th and 6th grade, that's.
you cut it back to 3 on 3 or 4 on 4.
It's a 3 on 3.
Shapley's gym is a lot smaller than our gym.
Yes.
For the full size, so they're like in between our half-court and our full court. So,
And that was why we were looking at doing it in Acton
In Acton.
versus doing it at Shapley, because she doesn't feel comfortable hosting the bigger kids over there because their court is so small. We also asked the selectmen at their last meeting about, paying for our refs if we needed to. And I'm just waiting, I'm going back and forth, just getting some more information, in-depth information about what our budget looks like at this point to be able to do that, because we were told that we have to go ahead to do so, as long as it's in our budget. So I'm just double checking all of the
And-
pennies and dimes in our budget right now.
The sports director at Acton Elementary gave me a POC for who they use for their reffing.
Yes.
So I am in contact with him. He had asked me some initial questions and I just said, hey, this is all kind of information, so the sooner you have an answer on that, I can push forward with him and go, hey, what are you charging? What kind of availability do you have for refs?
That would be awesome.
So I got a
Because I don't think the
POC.
board will give you a flat amount yet,
Nope, they didn't give me a
so
cost.
they're gonna wanna know before you.
I think we just asked about doing like a $15 to $20 a game type thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We need it because soccer was
Yeah.
a mess.
Yeah, so we did go ahead and ask about that, so now it's just gonna be,
Sweet.
if you can go forward with that one and see what he charges.
You want me to get some numbers?
Yeah, get some numbers off of him and we'll go from there.
Is that February 4th day, a date that's carved in stone?
Yes and no.
Okay.
We had to kind of figure out a day, and it was the day that worked with Shapley where she wanted to spearhead it.
Okay.
So it was a day that I had to give the school to see if we would be able to get into it.
And are your coaches okay with that?
I haven't been able to talk to any of the coaches yet. It's something that we're looking into still.
All right,
So it's
because I'm
like
not
a-
sure that that date's gonna work for you.
Okay, why?
No need to discuss
because we have plans.
Be busy.
I'm sure you agree to it,
Because your
John.
wife said so.
We're looking.
Yeah, that date's no good for me.
We're looking to be done, I would like to wrap up the second week of February.
And
Have
did-
everything said and done.
Did the school, is there a fee for the Saturday?
No.
He's gonna allow you to use it for that Saturday?
From what I've gained so far, there would be no fee, but we're looking to see if we have anybody that's interested. So if a fee comes up, but I'm not, we're still kind of in the initial,
What, Mr. Ross?
yes.
Oh,
Yep, I'm working with Mr. Ross and Andy
okay.
to see about if
In the
there's
past,
any
they
availability.
said we would have to pay for the janitor on the weekends.
Yeah.
To be there.
I think conversations with Mr. Ross, can you ask him what, if we intend to have any type of food, what he would allow? We did it for soccer where we had the truck that came. Mm-hmm. If we could just park one outside, if that's, it's a bit
That was
simpler for
really
Mr. Ross,
nice, yeah.
And what about concession for basketball?
So I was trying to figure out how we wanted to do the concession, because it looks like we might have double games on a Monday, but it would be both fifth and sixth grade teams unless you combine them into one team. Other than that, it would be on a Friday, we might have two groups that have a game. So I don't know if it'll be beneficial for us to do concessions or not, or if we should just kind of itnay having a concession for this season to see.
You know, it's not as easy because it's outside. It's not like it's right
Well,
there.
someone's gonna lug it all.
Yeah, it's not like we have that space right there.
Confined, we're all in the middle of it.
Well, we don't have a dedicated space.
Right.
We don't have a dedicated space.
Like
They've
on
all-
the field, we have
yeah.
the snack shack, and when we go back a week later, everything is still there. It's like, we don't really have that at the school.
Yeah, and the
But
only
is
place
the-
we have that closet, and, in the past, you used to lug everything in and out for basketball, and someone has to keep it and lug it back and forth and all that stuff, so.
Well, much like at the field.
Well, at least at the field, we've got the
There's a place to
concessions.
put it.
There's a
Yeah,
place
there's
to
a
put
place
it,
to put it.
right, yeah, exactly.
So can I circle back to Mr. Ross, and forgive me, this isn't on the agenda because it's old business. Did you speak to Mr. Ross about storage of the wrestling mat? I worry about that being affected
I did
by
not.
freezing and
I'll talk to
moisture.
him tomorrow. I completely forgot, sorry.
That's, I just don't want it to get ruined on my watch.
And
Storage, okay,
Back-
sorry about that.
We can tarp it, I just don't think we have a tarp that big. And again, if moisture gets in, I just don't know if the moisture will affect it, I just don't know.
It's not like it's
Does
really
it
wet up there.
crack
I
or
dropped the ball on that
does
one.
it just get stinky?
I see him every day, so I'll ask him first thing tomorrow.
And then maybe doors on the existing shed, just to close that up for the winter so that it really can be usable space while we figure out what we're doing with the new shed.
We weeded out the paint cans a few weeks ago.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
How was that?
I had to get them out of it. It was killing me. It was like 45
Yeah.
empty cans.
All right.
so back to basketball for the games. Are we doing just against other people? We doing games against each other?
We'll have some against ourselves too.
So, okay, so are they gonna have a schedule, a schedule to go by where it's gonna be like a little bit more all over the place, more so than the past few years, so.
Yep, they're gonna have a schedule, so it'll be, I'm just waiting to get back in touch with Wakefield to kind of final up what Wakefield wants to offer us.
But we're gonna have 2 teams of each age group, is that?
So that's what we need to circle back on.
That's what we need.
Once we have the binders.
Well, can we discuss that now? Jenny is out for sure. So here's the 3 lists of coaches I have. TJ and John for a team, Riley and his assistant, I can't remember his friend's name,
Mike,
and then TJ and Vanessa for a team. So, we realistically don't have 4 sets or 4 head coaches.
Yeah.
So, and we have even numbers for each grade. The numbers are like perfect for either way. You could go one way or the other. 2 teams, unless, you get a bout of COVID or the flu, then it's gonna wipe some teams out. You might not have a game that weekend. Or you might have them all there and you have a total of 14 kids and a lot don't get playing time. So we're like right on that perfect number. Ideally, you wanna have like 8 or 9 and we're like right at 7 for each team. So we could go either way with it. And I'm kinda conflicted. I don't really know. I'm assuming we're gonna get 1 or 2 more signups because that's
There's
what
some in the
usually
box
happens.
now.
What's that?
There's some in the box now that just got put in there.
So my lean is that we do 2 teams for each, so that we do have that comfortable, that Acton can play Acton once or twice, but we do need another head coach for either 3rd and 4th or 5th and 6th.
would Riley by chance be interested in doing 2 teams, do you think?
I don't see why not. I mean, he works like full-time, but he doesn't do anything else as far as I know, so I think.
We need to ask him
Yeah, I'll ask him, sorry, I'm
what
going
time
down
is-
a rabbit trail here. I will ask him and have an answer for you by tonight or tomorrow, whenever he.
Okay, sounds good.
So is Riley kind of our plan?
He would be
is to
our-
have him do 2 teams?
He would be our backup if he
Okay.
wants to. So, let's see, at least where those ones are, so I have to have.
Do we have a plan B if Riley is not favorable to that?
I have a ton of people that have volunteered and we've used in the past, so you can look through the names, see if any of them
Okay. If are they volunteering again this year, or you're just?
Well, no,
looking
I'm just
for
saying if their kids are in it, you know, you might be able to talk them into it.
Okay.
So we're all practicing together, is that correct?
Yeah, the whole third, fourth is practicing together, the whole fifth, sixth is practicing
Yeah,
together.
we'll split the court in half, and then we'll have the coaches run their own practices, and then scrimmage at the end, play games at the end, however we want to figure it out.
So you definitely have a coach and an assistant coach for each group, correct?
Yes, it would just be
At the
games.
moment, yes. If Riley agrees to do another team, then yes, we have an assistant and a head coach for each team.
So,
She's saying like each practice, there'll be at least one coach there for the teams that'll be sitting there.
Ideally, 2 head coaches and 2 assistant coaches for every practice.
how we ended up doing it halfway through for last year's season,
Yep.
but
I don't think-
actually dividing up the teams into 2 separate teams.
Yep, I don't think Chelsea had an assistant, and then,
She did it first and the person couldn't finish up, but,
Gotcha.
yeah.
yeah, so
Alright.
like last year, just, we're going in more organized this time, hopefully, like, figuring out what we're gonna do.
So we'll round back to that one again. You let me know what Riley says and we'll kind of go off
If
that.
we didn't have 2 separate coaches, would the coach, which one, are you the 5th and 6th grade coach?
I was planning on it, yeah.
And,
3rd and 4th, yeah.
and there's an assistant, so,
My son Luke is gonna play for both, so my main reason for joining the rec was to coach my kids, and then it kind of branched out from there.
he's gonna play, what do you mean, both?
He's gonna do 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th grades, so he's gonna play up with the 5th and 6th graders.
Is that an option to all kids?
I guess I just never been approached about it.
We can play up if we have a kid that has the skill level to play up and the parents are.
Like, here's logically, if you think about it, like a younger kid playing in an older age group, like, can you imagine a parent being like, oh, don't let that younger kid up if he's like skill-wise?
As long as we're not doing it the other way around,
The other way is completely not
because
acceptable.
we had issues,
Yes.
okay.
No, we won't have a 12-year-old playing with
Right.
10-year-olds, 8-year-olds.
So I haven't been approached by any other parents about playing up, but if they want to, I'm more than open to coaching a kid
I think
to
we've
play
only
up.
had one other kid that would play up for practices.
Right, yep.
So if we were to separate the 2 teams with the coaches, with just you as a coach, if there weren't as another assistant coach and another head coach, would you be willing to do the games for both?
I'm
So
trying to-
if we're separated and we have 2 teams for each grade, normally you would have a coach and assistant coach for each individual. We're all practicing together. But we're gonna have separate games against other towns.
Correct.
Correct? And some on each other. So if we're going Acton against Acton, and we only have a coach and assistant coach, at the game, you could be one of the coaches, the assistant coach could be the other coach. When we separate it,
I would ideally not want to put
Well-
my assistant coach to head coach the other team.
I know it's not ideal, but what I'm asking is are you willing to be able to go to all the games with both teams if have to?
Yeah, I'm in it
Okay.
to win it. I did the same.
Well, it's just a lot to ask, so I just want to make sure that if we're dividing them up, that,
Sports are on, that's my weekends,
Yeah.
and my weeks is work and the sports stuff,
The
so
only
yeah.
hangup might be if 3rd and 4th are playing one place and 5th and 6th are
Yes.
playing
Yeah,
another.
and
what we have to
logistically, if I
figure out.
physically can't be there, that's the only reason I won't. Otherwise, yeah, I'm an open book, I'm going wherever I'm needed.
but are we doing that where they're doing at different places?
It'll either be home or it'll be, like, we do have some that we have to look at, and I just have to look at the teams, where we have 1st and 2nd that might be in Shapley, and 3rd and 4th might be home. So it's just looking at.
At the same time?
We're looking at trying to do it a little bit earlier, that way it would be like an hour and a half gap. But it's something that we'll go back to. I gotta work with TJ on the schedule, but we're gonna move on to the next part.
So Milton is the only who we haven't heard from, I think, because I emailed them last night to piggyback on yours. So once we hear back from Milton, and it was Wakefield as the last game, our last program we need to hear from, and then we're ready to put the schedule finalized?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Can I make one more comment while we're still on sports?
Yeah.
I would strongly encourage you to put a drop-dead deadline for these applications, for them to get their registrations. And this is a similar conversation with each sport. And it's just, it starts tomorrow.
So what the plan is, because I was thinking about that, for the next sport, I would like to give us like 3 weeks of when the deadline would be set before the sport starts.
There you
To kind of
go.
give us an idea.
And that's not to say that we couldn't continue to take registrations, but we've got the bulk of the kids, we know the numbers, we know what we're gonna do, we're just a little further along than on the eve. And I realize we're just going into practices, but I think if we could give the parents, you know, just a cheat sheet, you know, these are our practices, and these are the days when, you know, we can't get into the AES gym until half an hour, 45 minutes later. I just think when I'm going to plug all of this crap into my calendar, I have it in one place, and I'm not forgetting to do it, and I'm not having to go back either through emails or Facebook and try to piece that together. I just think, and it's easier for you guys as a board to do that too.
Okay. Okay. We get to move to the next one? Okay.
Before we already have one of these, the next one that we're doing.
Oh, we do?
We have one every year.
Yeah, and remember the board talked to you about going to them first. So we table that one and go on to number 7.
Okay.
And maybe you can talk to the board.
Oh, we're not gonna
I
hang the
wanted to
Easter
vote.
bunny?
I wanted to vote.
I was gonna say, they already.
They gave her
do it
clear
here.
instruction. We're
They
trying to stay
do.
within that for the first year, huh?
They didn't know they did one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is it Terry?
Terry Minahan has been doing it for a few years.
Oh,
So
I didn't realize that she did it.
a comment for, can we get something on the website for the rec board and for all of these other activities, whether they're
So you
rec
know,
or,
yeah.
just so there's one place to look for information?
Yeah, the town actually has an RFP out right now for a new website.
Okay.
So once that, gets approved, the deadline is the 30th, then each department head, especially paid department heads, will be maintaining their own pages, so.
Okay.
Oh,
You'll
good.
have that opportunity.
Are you looking for someone to do that?
We're looking for somebody, we're accepting RFPs for
Okay,
the website.
okay,
yeah.
all right,
Requests for planning?
proposal.
Proposals for new
I
websites.
don't know any of that vernacular.
Yeah, just a whole new website. Do you build websites?
I can build a website, I can administrate a website, it's not too much trouble. If you want the whole 9 yards, like,
Yeah,
You're gonna
request for
pay-
proposal means we have money and we're gonna pay someone to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
We want
once
somebody
it's,
to
once
submit
it's
a
up
bid.
and running,
I'm
that-
more than happy to administrate it and
well,
be someone that can take care of it.
yeah, you can help administrate the
And I
rec
don't-
page if that's what you guys so
Yeah.
choose. Each department, handles their own page, but we're looking for somebody to build it up, take everything we have on the current site and move it over to a new site that's
Okay.
not a cold fusion, that's a little more user-friendly.
Yeah,
Are you
cool.
looking at
Is-
WordPress?
We're open to options.
Okay.
We've got the board has
Drag and
delegated it,
drop.
yeah.
Yeah,
Make it a
I'll
drag and
send
drop.
someone, I'll have her
Yeah.
send you a proposal. She'll want to talk to someone about an idea, but,
There's a RFP on the website, the board doesn't know this yet, but we're gonna have to extend it because we've gotten very little input. So we're gonna extend it through the month of December and,
okay.
I thought you
I'll
got
send you 2 links to websites, and if you like what you see, I'll have her send in a request. How's that? Okay.
Perfect. All right. So the next part is ice skating rink. I did talk with John Botel. He is interested and planning on doing the ice skating rink again for us this year. I need to send over, to order a new liner for that still.
we need an updated form for him.
John Botel? Okay.
Sam, I'm gonna leave you the blanks.
Oh, thank you.
Sam?
Yeah.
James Kittredge just asked me to call him, so I'm gonna step out for a second. Might have to do with basketball, so.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we'll get that updated form from him, but he is definitely game to go ahead and do the ice skating rink again, because that was kind of his baby and he does awesome
Yeah,
with
I'd
it.
sent him a note weeks ago and I never heard back from him.
I saw him on Saturday at the craft fair.
We talked a little bit, soccer, I forget where we were. And he was open.
Yep,
Because we gotta get that going.
yeah, so I'm gonna send that over to order. He said that it should be on the files from what we've ordered in the past. So I'm gonna send that over to see if we can order that this week, because he would like to get that set up before we actually have snow on the ground.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to make sure that once the ice skating rink is open again, I'd like to make sure we have a porta potty there, so that we have the bathroom at all times.
The one is still there, isn't it?
Nope,
Oh, it got taken out?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, at least it gave us a month or two that we didn't have to pay for it.
Okay.
Yep. Other than that, anything else that anybody wants to add about with the ice skating rink?
The last year, John got, I don't know, a handful of volunteers. I was one of them, you know, to help maintain it, you know, so if he wants to reach out to the same group again, I think there was 4 or 5 of us on the group, because it really does help a lot, especially after we get some of that heavy, wet snow to get it off of there. Like I said, I think at our last meeting, Paul Thurston was one of the guys, and he procured a snow blower from one of his neighbors that wasn't using it, whether he's gonna
Yeah, that was.
bring it back, if it's something he brings back, and all that crap that's in the shed right now that's for the skating rink gets out, the snow blower could potentially live in the shack.
So did they give him the snow blower, or was he borrowing?
He was gonna ask his neighbor, and he told me that he got the snow blower, so I'm guessing he has one.
Because we did put $600 in the budget for the snow blower, for a snow blower to help with it for this year. And a few other things, some shovels, and John, had
There are shovels in the shed.
the big huge
Yeah.
shuttle. I think wanted some for smaller ones to be able to shovel around, but that was in the budget. And, John wanted a small table to be able to set up hot chocolate and whatnot.
We have one
We
there
have-
now.
We have a
that
small
would
one?
work,
We have
yeah.
the one that was
It's
donated.
the
glass
the
one?
square,
The
yeah.
glass one.
That should be tempered, that should be
Yeah.
fine
Yeah.
outside.
That'll be
It's an
fine.
outside.
We're finding it sturdy,
Oh, yes, very sturdy.
despite its history.
Okay, and there was a electric snow blower that was donated. I believe John has that at his house.
Okay.
I don't know if he's ever used it or not. If it's I think some of them won't work on ice and some will work on ice if it's self-propelled or whatnot, so,
It may be just easier some days to shovel that rink off instead of trying to lug the snow blower in. The snow blower is gonna be great, you know, where the kids and everybody put on their skates and around the rink itself, the snow blower is gonna come in huge.
yeah. So if that guy didn't donate it, I'd like to start looking at snow blowers to help out the people that are doing it.
Also with it, we had a lady generously donate a ton of ice skates this past summer.
Nice.
Oh, really?
So I've got a bunch of ice skates that are in the old gym as well, that we can pull out, we can.
John's got a bunch. too.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
got
he was
some too.
supplying those last year.
Yeah.
And this is just, again, another aside. There was a notice on Facebook last winter, January, February, winter sports grants up for grabs, you know, $25,000. If we can all keep our eyes open for that and just think about how we can expand on the skating rink, you know, maybe, you know, a permanent fire pit and maybe a pavilion, you know, the top prize was $15,000 and it was open to school departments and rec departments, so we would definitely qualify, and didn't look like there was gonna be a lot of work. You know, it wasn't like grant writing, it was just, you know, here's a proposal, and if someone could do a little sketch and just, you know, make a little winter scene, I think we have a pretty good shot at it.
Yep, grants are great. Just keep in mind, there's a warrant article each year that, it requires grants to go through the municipal office at the same time. So if you find something you want to apply for.
Okay.
Certain copies and documents have to be on file in the treasurer's office, so.
Okay, all right.
Does the municipal hold the funds and then expend it as the,
They would, I mean, as a department, they would, yep.
I'll see if I can dig that out and get
Yeah,
the
good, great.
particulars.
I'd like to price out some of the, you see them with some of the kids. They have, either we can make some or price them out to buy some. They almost look like walkers. So that
Oh.
some of the kids that have never skated before,
Oh, yeah. No, you're talking about-
adults can
Yeah.
use them too.
Well, you can use, you know, little chairs or stools, little stools. Those are just as good.
Or just, old walkers that nobody uses anymore and throw some tennis balls on the bottom. Sweet, there you go.
I got one, but it's a
Hockey stick, you know, a hockey
one-handed,
stick would
so.
help. We can get a supply of hockey sticks, that might be fun, we can teach people some balance with that.
That'd be fun.
That was to actually play hockey, that was talked about, but I think it was put on the back burner for actually playing hockey, because they didn't want some people skating and some people kicking around.
They don't mix, it would be
Oh,
one or the
yeah.
other, but I just thought if someone needed help with balance, the hockey sticks are great because they're pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
You know, they fit in your hand with a big mitten.
No, you can't play hockey on that rink.
It's too small.
All right.
Can I go right back to the, Christmas tree lighting real quick? I just thought of something that we, the ornaments, when we're going back to the ornaments, you had on your list about getting some stuff to add to the ornaments besides crayons, and I just want to make sure that you have that on the list.
Something for the older kids.
For the older kids and the other ornaments,
Were the bobbleheads gonna be that filler that you had mentioned?
well,
You
they're
just
not,
can't, you can't color on them or anything?
they're not decorations. I mean, they're decorations, not ornaments.
I know we just got a bunch of that stuff too from the church.
That was all geared towards little kids, I think.
But not actual, anything we got some,
Like
and we had some of
9
the.
or 10 or 12-year-olds. We were really flat on that, I think.
Yeah, and we were talking about doing, well, you had some of the stuff that we
Yeah,
went
we
through that you
found-
brought home, but you were gonna get some things to add to it. That's what we discussed.
I'm not sure we voted on that, to be perfectly fair to Sam, but I think that was a contentious moment for some of us. But I think it needs to be addressed. We've got lots of things for little kids to do. We don't have a whole lot, for the older kids to do. You thinking wooden ornaments that could be painted, and I know you don't want a big mess, and the town probably doesn't want that either, but we could get, glitter paint sticks and things so that the mess is minimal. We can also line things with, the big rolls of paper. If we could get our hands on some of that at Walmart or Michael's or something to mitigate damages. I just think it's not fair to be inviting all of these families and just have something for, 4 or 5 and 6-year-olds.
I think it goes up higher than that, but I know what you mean. Now, is it too late for me to ask for any funds for this weekend?
So, you mean like a personal, personal,
check.
so the deadline is noontime on Mondays.
Okay.
Payroll and,
But we can purchase and get reimbursed.
you're not supposed to, no, we've
changed?
All right.
It hasn't changed, it's been years, the auditor has been very clear that we're not supposed to do reimbursements.
All right.
I mean, do you have anything that we can order from like Walmart online that you can pick up in store? Something like that? I mean, but
Okay. we can do
gotta be
that.
sooner than later,
Okay,
especially if you want it for this weekend.
okay. So I will look at that tomorrow.
You send Kelly an email and ask her if she's done AP, but the deadline is supposed to be Mondays at noon time.
We don't want to push the envelope. This is just something
Well,
that we
she has
talked
been,
about
I mean-
last time, and just kind of.
May give her a little wiggle room if she hasn't cut the checks, but you know what I mean, for this
Yep.
time, but we really gotta focus on Mondays at noon time. But if she hasn't completed it, she may.
Okay. We'll ask her. Okay.
And if not, I don't mind going to the store, I'll purchase it, because
Yeah,
I really feel that. we
Yeah, I
need
mean,
this. We
Katrina's
need
going to
this
come, and
work.
there's not going to be a lot here for her.
There's a lot of kids that age that are coming in,
Well, we see that coming through the sports groups, so, yeah.
Okay.
I just hate to miss that opportunity, not to beat a
Looking for
dead
Sam.
horse.
How much you have a budget, how much you're thinking?
Not quite sure, I guess.
and we had to put in for $600 for the budget for the tree lighting.
Well,
But
let's
she's been
just,
taking from other things, you guys, they're not following that budget perfectly, so, if
No,
we
but-
factor in, refs, or a little thing, other different things she's done along the way, we're just gonna make sure that we're keeping an eye on it. So if you have a
Right,
rough
right.
idea, I can
I
try
don't
to
think we've spent anything at this point.
finish my sentence, and I said if you can give me a rough idea, I can see if I can get the ball rolling for her tonight, but I need to have an idea of how much she's looking for.
well, before we put you through all of that trouble.
not
No, but I just think, because it's a huge pain in the butt to go back and redo or do again. I think we should probably take a vote on that. because we didn't get this off the ground the last time we met. So I don't want to be, you know, the one naysayer here or the yay-sayer. I just think if we want to add an additional craft for older kids, raise your hand, right? And if the hands don't go up, then we don't do it, and we save everyone a lot of aggravation.
Okay.
You know, it's coming up on Saturday. If we don't have an idea, I clearly don't have an idea.
Your hour's up.
Is that a motion that you made, Hope?
Yes.
Make a motion.
Somebody seconding it?
Second it?
I second it.
Second vote.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, do we not have anything for older kids like we're at Zilch? Okay, then I second, third, fourth.
She seconded.
How do this works? I'm sorry.
Who's in favor?
All in favor? All in favor?
All right, so very quickly, because that was your hour mark, tell me how much you think you need roughly. You think you can get away with $100?
Probably not, because we also don't have any of the other decoration stuff, so if there's any way to be able to get decoration stuff.
I thought you had, that's what your gift cards and everything were for.
Decoration, like, we have lights for the tree and that's it.
Where was the box? They bought a lot of decorations last year,
We bought lights for the tree last year.
and that's it?
That's it.
Okay, so how much, Sam, do you think you need? 150?
200? Please?
Okay, send an email, see what we can do.
Thank you. All right, so that is that. I will get some dates of what we have available for the next meeting, and I will send it out to everybody.
Okay.
All right.
One last thing is, I know there was a little bit of confusion with tonight's meeting, at least it was with me. I thought we were on hold until we heard back from you, and if I didn't call you last night, I wouldn't have known that there was a meeting. So, once you get the okay from the town, can you let us know that it is definitely a go from this point forward? Just a quick email or something that we all know, you know, once you get...
I did send an email last time, and it had that our next meeting would be, that we had the meeting for Saturday
Yes, I
or
didn't
Sunday,
see
and then we
that.
had the meeting for, because you guys had that one too.
Well, it was, this one, it said, I believe it said it was tentative.
It said that it was scheduled as of, if anybody has any complications with that, let me know.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
We don't have anything scheduled for January, right? Like no big events?
All right, we are good to go?
Yeah, we did it. It's an hour.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn, everybody, all
Somebody second that?
Second that
in
one?
favor?
Hi.
Everybody have a good night.
All right, thank you. So I only got